What's happening? My name is Blake Harris, and this is the Music City Mindset. The Music City Mindset is licensed under the NFM network, and we are very grateful for that partnership because we are on all platforms everywhere, and we are coming to you right here from the Iconics Fitness Studio. We encourage you to go check out Iconics Fitness and figure out what makes the Iconics difference over at Iconics Fitness. Go check them out. We're very, very grateful to welcome them to the Music City family here at the Music City Mindset. We have a recap episode because we have been out and about and we have a lot to talk about, and I'm not here alone. That's what's going to make this episode so great. Co-owner of Spontaneous Beauty. He's had pieces of art featured all around the world. And at this point, he's been bald longer than he's had hair. When I told him it was a recap episode, he changed hats. My best friend of 30 years at Mindset Easy 615 on Instagram, co-host Evan Butler.
Yeah.
Evan, we've been busy.
We've been grinding.
So just to list a recap of everything we've done, we have had A West, That's On Me release. We had a Click Tight City Heat showcase.
Yeah.
We had Media Day at the Locker Room with Young Buck. We had 8-Ball Coffee experience with 8-Ball and MJG.
Legendary.
I feel like I'm missing something.
Man,
There's been too much.
That's enough, really. I mean, we hung with Buck and Struggle and Wolf and chopped it up a little while. We've been going, you know.
There's two kind of conversations that we've been having a lot lately off of microphones, and I feel like it is a good time on a recap episode to bring it up on the microphones. And I think we've had separate conversations about them, but actually the more I've been thinking about it, I think the conversations go hand in hand. And I wanted to wear my 8-Ball shirt today. Shout out 8-Ball. He made something very literal. We've talked a lot about how people took business from one industry, music, sports, athletics, streets, drugs, whatever that is, and applied it to something else. Because I was thinking back on the fact of, like, with me owning the gym, running this podcast, there was parts of me in this chapter of my life that had to bring in different parts and the best parts of each chapter of my life.
Yeah, I agree.
And something I've never really talked about on here, and I think today is a good day, is with me, it was every time I went to a different chapter of my life, I was in a situation where that chapter required me to kind of forget about the previous chapter. And what I mean by that is, in the chronological part of things, is, you know, we grew up in church. It's where we, you know, obviously got close, not where we met, but where we got close. But there were opportunities that we weren't given because people knew what we did outside of church. So we were trying to keep that separate. And so I wasn't church enough for the church people, wasn't really hood enough for the hood people. We started banging pretty hard, and then I couldn't let my college coaches or NFL scouts know that I just come from banging real hard.
Yeah. Trapping.
Yeah. Even though the coaches caught me. Literally red-handed. Which was a wild situation. Or green-handed, should I say.
I shouldn't say banging. They probably don't know what you mean right now.
Well, obviously, by the way, Ezra's laughing. That doesn't translate. You know what I mean.
I did. I just saw his face.
We'll say gangbanging doesn't help no much either.
No.
But trapping real hard.
Yeah.
So it was like, and then, you know, trying to grow up. You know, when I got married the first time, every time I moved on from something,
A lot of pivoting.
a lot of pivoting, but not really bringing anything from the previous chapter.
I don't know. I mean,
Well, I'm saying that's not what I should have done.
right.
But now what I can say is, with looking at what makes me a successful business owner now, is I've had to piece it all together.
Right.
The most uncomfortable conversation I have with people like inside the gym is money related, especially when I was talking about investments and things that had commas in it. But then I had to remind myself, there's a time in my life, there was a chapter where a lot of money conversations had a comma in it, but that was some street stuff.
Yeah.
But the chapter I came out of, I had to ignore street stuff, pretend like that didn't happen.
Cool.
So I kind of had to welcome that back in and remind that this isn't the first time I've had to talk about that kind of money.
Do you think when you went to those next chapters that you didn't bring that past chapter with you, or do you think it's because of how we grew up and the shame and the guilt and that chip on your shoulder came with it is why?
I think that has a lot to do with it.
Because, I mean, we don't know if a butterfly remembers being a caterpillar.
Right.
But I do.
Right. I mean, it was always hard for me to forget it, which was making each step harder because I feel like I wasn't being true to myself. And I think the overlying conversation is learning how to be true to yourself. And those were all genuine, authentic parts of what we went through on our journey.
Yeah.
Everything we went through in church, regardless of what we've done outside of there, was really real and authentic. What we did in the streets was really real. What I did on the football field, the conversations I had, that was all really real. So having to ignore that ever happened, I feel like is a disservice to myself. And once I accepted that there were bits and pieces of each chapter that I could bring with me that made me a better version of myself, which then when I put it all together, the gym's successful. I have a huge client roster with personal training.
Yeah.
Award-winning podcast. So I don't think it's a coincidence that when I finally put all the pieces together of the best part of what has made me, my experiences. But then that leads me to the other part of the conversation I was bringing up is that familiarity with some of the people we grew up with. There's people that I've met along the way in different chapters that can only see that chapter. There's people that I've met only as the gym owner of a very inclusive gym, a very empathetic personal trainer that couldn't imagine me hurting a fly.
Right.
But then there's also people that met me in that street chapter that would maybe still be afraid of us.
Yeah, and they can't imagine you sitting down interviewing people.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the conversation now has kind of like merged from two different conversations into how do we portray something that allows other people to see the best in us, putting the best foot forward, taking things from our life experiences and moving forward versus them just looking at us as what they used to know. And obviously you can't change. You can't force people to see what they don't want to see. But I think there is an effort there to, I already did what I needed to do that I owed myself, being true to myself. But now, even though it sounds weird, we have fans, we have followers, we have listeners. Very grateful for them to allow us to continue pushing this. Mm-hmm. And there's a trickle-down effect. At this point, then now I want the best quality, whether it comes to the videos, what we put out, working on our craft, that I feel like we owe the people that are paying attention and been following with us. That's making the NFM network better. That's making everyone around us better. But then there's still people on the bottom, which is the listeners at this point of how information trickles down, that there's still some people that still see us in a certain light. And how have you thought about that? And what do you think we can do to show people what we're doing now to see us in this new chapter?
I've thought about it a lot. It's been very validating to be around people that are going through it at the same time in a similar way. You know, it's like you said, the kid that his parents tried to keep him in church, and I'm glad for that because they gave me a foundation. Um, when we were trapping and going hard in the paint, like it's funny because there's parts of that I wish I didn't remember. And then, first rule, don't get high on your own supply. And then, then I go down the road of becoming an addict. And there's people out there that are like, oh, he is that. Or, they don't understand like the metamorphosis, the growing, the different chapters. We feel like we're in a great chapter now, but we're growing into another chapter. That's what's beautiful about having our audience now is I feel like they have an opportunity to grow with us and watch us grow and see it naturally because that's all we know. From where we come from, we can only do it naturally. We can only do it authentic and 100%. And man, seeing people like talk about Jelly Roll, and they're talking in a corner over here, and they're like, he's the nicest guy, and this and that, and he is. But they could never imagine that version, and so that helps me see, like, it's the same for me, or struggle, or, anybody we're around. There's so many people that have come back into our lives that met us at these different chapters, and it's almost divine the way they come back. Because they didn't come back at the worst times. They came back at the best times, and we just happened to bump into each other, when it was meant to be.
And it was really the defining moment that made things start clicking for me was the simple things that 8 Ball with 8 Ball Coffee Company was doing. The fact that you can just get ground up coffee in 3.5 gram bags, that he's still selling 8 Balls.
First of all, 8 Ball brand coffee, amazing coffee.
Oh, I've been on it the past 2 days. It's delicious, and I'm not just saying that. We're not sponsored by them yet, but it is delicious coffee, and so it's a good product. But the marketing behind it, I'll just say the courage and transparency to not hide from his background and taking what he's done in 1 or 2 different industries and bringing it forward into a legitimate, real industry like this. Like, there was a part of me that's like, of course, we're talking about it pretty openly now on microphones, but there was almost a part of me that was like a weirdly jealous that he can be so open and transparent about his transitions into a real businessman, that I feel like I have experienced people almost looking down on or judging me because I'm taking experience from one aspect of my life that really happened and was really real for me and my family, and applying it to business now and being open about why I'm successful with that, and then getting judged for that. And I'm sure he faces scrutiny that we don't see, right? But at the same time, it was just eye-opening of how seamless he made that appear, and looking at what we have done, because we pull from a little bit of everything. People talk about like public speaking, and even though it's just us in this room talking right now, when we put this out, we're talking to thousands of people. Well, there was a time when I spoke to thousands of people regularly, and it was usually based upon something from the church, a church trip, a church camp, things like that. So I have this experience, but I have to rely and pull from that church experience to be able to do this so effortlessly without the fear. And so there's just so much from our lives that we've pulled from to make this whole thing go. But it does suck when there's people that then all of a sudden will use that transparency of how you gained this kind of experience to make this work against you, because they only remember that version of you.
Right. And that version still, there's pieces of that in here that have built on. I might not be called to preach, but I feel called to be where I'm at, to speak to people. And I am very vocal, if you meet me out in public, about I wouldn't have any of this if it wasn't for Jesus Christ. And I'm not perfect. I say things I shouldn't. I do things I shouldn't, probably. But at the end of the day, my kids, my family, everybody knows where it comes from, who we pray with. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he's blessed me. I don't know why I'm still here. You don't either.
No, I have no idea.
But I know there's a reason, because there's so many circumstances why I shouldn't be.
The combination of the imposter syndrome and survivor's guilt together reigns hard. That there has to be a reason why we're still here and able to make an impact and create a difference. And I've had people kind of come at me on my supposed lack of faith, or my lifestyle choices that to them prove where they think my faith is. And to have to remind people that, like, I've led international mission trips. I've been held at gunpoint. I've been persecuted with bottles and trash thrown at me because of my faith. That you don't get to judge me in my relationship with Jesus.
No. I feel God at the locker room the way I feel him at church.
Yeah.
You know, I feel...
But I don't think I don't think a lot of people can do that because they haven't put themselves in that kind of situation.
I hope they don't have to. Like, I think about it. I have been on death's doornail. I have wrestled with the grim fucking reaper. And my thing is, it's like, I had to go through a lot of pain, a lot of suffering to be able to realize it. And so, like, when somebody tells me about their son who, you know, has had a silver spoon and going through and stuff, and they don't realize it, I hope they don't ever have to go through what we went through. You know?
Yeah.
But it also makes it enjoyable. And I mean, not to get off topic too much, but 8 Ball brand coffee. We worked and managed Tootsie's for a long time. Mm-hmm. We met a lot of our idols, a lot of people, and some of it was true. I used to believe, I was like, man, that is true what they say, don't meet your idols. Then you meet somebody like Troy Gentry or, you know, 8 Ball, and you think about the nicest dude. He's been in the game so long, he had to shove his foot in the door and not let him shut it. Time after time after time. True legend.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like dreams come true. Standing there with 8 Ball and MJG and the nicest dudes in the world. And probably the same thing as us, of that imposter syndrome. Because don't get it twisted. You cross them, I'm sure you still get it.
Yeah.
But right now, great place. They did a walk, Starlito, and came back.
Yep. Shout out 6, run 5.
Man, Click Tight Circle. A West, just had him on the podcast. Been knowing the dude since he was 16. Since he was a little thug running around the YMCA.
Yeah, jeez.
And he comes back as a man into our lives. And might be one of the realest to ever do it.
Yeah. I mean, there is a weird divine energy, how things are working out. And I didn't necessarily intend for it to go this direction, but I mean, you can't run from it at some point.
Right.
And it's shown through in the ways of the people that are following along aren't necessarily the people that I'd follow along. And the people that are struggling to see us in this new chapter are people that I thought would have been rocking with us till the end.
Yeah.
And that's been pretty eye-opening as far as like really understanding where our support is coming from.
I was telling my son the other day, I was like, the hardest thing you will ever do is pray for the people you don't like. Pray for your enemies. It's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
But I do it. This whole media day, I see Nashville more united than it's ever been. And people are still out there in their feelings. And I get it. If I was one of the OGs from back in the day when Nashville wasn't united and wasn't behind their own people,
you had to fight and scratch and claw to get noticed.
I'd be salty right now.
Yeah.
But y'all still got it. Ain't nothing changed. Yeah. Sonny P sat right where I'm sitting and said, you're either one song away or one hit away from being where you used to be or further. And I believe that, you know. Mm-hmm. Nashville should have been behind y'all because we was behind you. We was behind it, listening to it. We couldn't control everybody else. But now to see Nashville actually united, people ending beefs, people in a room that used to would have never been in the room with each other without there being something go down.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's getting along, and they might not agree all the time, but just the energy in the Ville right now, Cashville,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
There is a shift. I think we're on the verge of something really big happening because this many people haven't been secure enough in their own lane to be in the rooms that are happening, the meetings, the conversations, the people working together that are happening. I don't think we've seen anything like that in a long time. And I think we're on the verge of things. Everything revolves, especially in the music industry. Rock will dominate, then country will dominate, then hip hop will dominate, and then it just cycles back through. And right now, there's not a hip hop song on the top 40, and I think that we're on the verge of seeing a transition in the music industry, which will, if there's a shift in the music industry, there's a shift in the music city.
Yeah.
And I think we're on the verge of that happening because of who all is working together. And I don't think it's a coincidence that all of this is happening because we're seeing a different version of Young Buck.
Yeah.
I think it all really started with him truly becoming someone different in the community, embracing his past, embracing who he is authentically, and stepping into a new chapter of his life, so it seems. And the way he's doing that has brought the entire city with him.
I'm so proud of Bud.
Yeah.
Man, the locker room, first of all, still bar for bar, better than he was when he started. Great. Seeing DT and him back together, but just the whole city. I mean, Rambo Lee the other night, seeing him do rock, rap, whistle. Man, I heard Delta blues in there, heard a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. And seeing Wolf, he pioneers it. I mean, loves hip hop more than anybody I've ever seen in my life.
History.
Yeah.
Knows the history.
And I told him this the other night, if there was a Smithsonian for hip hop music, he would have to be the curator.
He would have to be.
And seeing him do rock albums,
and what he did to sit us down,
man,
and talk to us about business, finance, LLCs. Shout out Yellow Wolf.
Yeah. Him and Struggle, man.
Yeah.
If there's somebody I believe in the city right now, it's Struggle Jennings. Because I've known him since I was 13, 14, sitting on steps of Rivergate Mall. If there's somebody I believe in that I know means what they say, Struggle Jennings.
And I want to get back to that. I want to talk about Struggle. I want to shout Struggle out. I want Struggle to know how much we're really rocking with him, not just because he'd do an episode or anything like that. But we actually have hit at the point where we're going to hit a commercial break. We're going to hear a word from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back here with the Music City Mindset.
Back.
Introducing our Berry High Seltzer, the ultimate cannabis-infused experience. Maybe you're trying to cut back on the booze or get some of THC's sweet benefits. Our Berry High Seltzer invites you to savor the experience responsibly. Not only is it delicious, but our seltzers provide a federally legal way to unwind.
On the run, baby. I do 100 on a highway.
And we are back here at the Music City Mindset, and we're just now realizing we've been paying a dock slip to the East Nashville Yacht Club, and we ain't even got a boat.
Yeah.
And so shout out Jason Allman. We need to do some stuff together. But before the break, we were talking, you mentioned Struggle.
Absolutely.
And the conversation that we had off the mic that I'd like to bring here is realizing how much, I say we, I can speak for myself, but we need music. I need music because I wasn't always taught how to communicate my feelings because I chose to put myself through things that my parents didn't really understand how I got into.
You don't have to be an enforcer anymore. I feel like I need to say that to you.
It's hard not to.
Because you were top goon, top enforcer, EV, and you don't have to be that no more.
Part of me gets that, but regardless, we put ourselves in situations that our parents didn't necessarily know how to handle what we were putting ourselves into.
Safe to say we were raised better.
Yes, absolutely. So then when we were choosing to do those things, that came with feelings that I didn't necessarily know how to articulate. But so when I was talking to family, parents, church friends not in the streets, it didn't make sense to anyone at all.
Yeah. But
then I would listen to a Jelly Roll song, be like, I feel heard.
Yeah, I feel like I could have wrote that. That's in my song.
You understand me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been very crazy to really think back on when you look at the trajectory and the ups and downs that Jelly went through. Coincidentally or not coincidence, we went through the same ups and downs, different caliber of things. He's in another stratosphere. But when he was out here in the streets, we were too.
Mm-hmm.
When
he's even the reason we had to take it to the country.
Yes.
Because he had it sewed up around yonder,
right, 100%. And then, but then when he started making a little bit of a name, we did too. When his substance abuse got a little out of control was the same time frame that ours did. And then when he started seeing success and doing something, we did too. So there is this weird trajectory that I feel like where I'm super connected with Jelly.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like now, with what I'm feeling, he's not making music that I need. And that's not a knock. I'm not saying I'm not a Jelly Roll fan anymore.
Yeah, still feel it.
Still feel it. Still rock with the homie. But I feel like now, with what Buck's doing and with what Struggle's doing, there's people that are putting music out that I need to be able to feel heard and understood with the feelings that I have with where I'm navigating my life now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always going to rock and support with the people that are giving me something that I need that I might not even knew that I needed.
I mean, when we sat the other night, Yellow Wolf brought up the story about the guy throwing his CD away. Struggle told us a similar story. And we also lived that story. This is something I hadn't thought about in a long time. You know, for me, meeting Struggle when I met him, seeing him go through what he went through, going through similar things, and then seeing him become a dad, seeing him embrace his faith, but also embrace his past and who he is.
Got one on the way.
Yeah, got a baby on the way. Congratulations. You know, I feel like I relate. And when you know the man and it's authentic, it makes it that much easier.
Yeah.
I feel the same with A West and Kari.
Yeah.
Click Tight, Rambo.
Well, the other side of that is being able to connect with an artist that gives you a two-way street.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were talking about earlier, when we were the biggest Jelly Roll fans on the planet, he needed the support.
Mm-hmm.
And we needed his music. And now he doesn't necessarily need our support. And the music he's putting out isn't really anything that I need in my life.
No, I still, though, when I have a homie tell me they're going through something, I'm like, hey, have you checked out this or this or this, and shoot them some jelly.
I still go back and listen to all the classics and genuinely, like, Saved Me.
Yeah, Same Asshole. That still bangs hard today in my life.
But with what people are putting out now.
Yeah.
And the people that are putting out music I feel like I need that also need our support. And when I say our, I mean.
Yeah.
But that's where we're going to go.
Like Click Tight.
And that's, yeah, exactly.
I mean, the thing about them is they almost breathed new life into my love of hip hop. Not that it was dwindling or anything, but people talked about mumble rap and drill rap and all these things. And to hear somebody with a young energy come in with an old school hustle, with an old school flow in a new way is so refreshing. All of Click Tight.
I mean, That's On Me has been on repeat in my car, inside the gym, in the gym speakers.
Oh,
that thing bangs.
Yeah.
Like it hounds in there.
It's like Whizzle.
Yeah.
Cashville be balling. It took me back to my freshman year of high school. All right. Classic and them just dropped East Be Ballin'. So many others come out. Classic's mama was one of my substitute teachers.
For real?
Yeah.
I don't know if I knew that.
Oh, yeah. Girls were mobbing her to get autographs and stuff. Like, take us home to Classic, bring it back, all that stuff. And she was cool. Shout out to her, man. Like, she was the OG. She'd sub on a bunch of classes and stuff. But to see that throwback also done authentically with the blues, the way he's done it is like anybody can jump on when somebody goes viral. But when somebody pays homage, most of those fans and people that have got on have no clue he's paid homage to so much stuff in the city.
Yeah. Speaking of paying homage, I had a conversation with someone that told me they went to NSA.
Oh, no.
And I was like, oh, shit, my best friend went to NSA. I know all about it, man. Was OT still there when you were there? And like, oh, man, I love OT.
Oh,
Who
yeah.
was your friend? And I told him, Evan Butler.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that name doesn't sound familiar. And I was like, well, what year did you graduate? Oh, man. She said 2018.
Yeah, you're like, man.
I was like, oh, man, we've been out 13 years.
Yeah.
But shout out OT, man.
Yeah.
But the energy is so different when all of that is there. Like, Cashville Be Ballin' will be a classic within the city. The knock on it was that it's so personal to Nashville that it won't ever leave Nashville.
Why does it need to? We're the hottest city in the country.
It doesn't need to.
Yeah.
But then to do a remix with the OG of all OGs all on it, Kwani, Lido, Buck.
The only time I seen that before that I felt it that much and even more is the Scooby, RP Scooby song.
Yeah.
To see all the OGs jump on that and show love to Scooby. It still bothers me. We just had Scooby's birthday pass, and I was telling my girl, I was like, hey, it still bothers me that I'll never get to sit down and talk to that man.
Yeah. Fuck sarcoidosis.
Yeah. RP Scoob.
But that leads us to the locker room.
Yeah.
Media Day was huge for us. We should be talking to Lano soon. And
shout out Lano XL, Mr. 18 Pockets.
Born Rich.
Mm-hmm.
Born Rich Boopy.
Yeah.
To be able to actually get to spend some time with him was wild. Can't wait to hear more about him and his story. But
well, it'll be fun because it's two best friends, Born Rich, and it's two best friends, Music City Mindset. It's very similar situations.
But I don't know that in any other time frame that something like Media Day at the locker room could have ever happened the way it happened.
615 rap game. The unk of the city, DJ.
Yeah, I mean, everybody who's anybody there that's putting out content was all there, and no one biting on each other, no one hating on each other, nobody shouting each other out. There is a lot of love happening in the city, and there's been so many podcasts, even just within the last 6-8 months, that refer to Nashville, especially within hip hop, being so competitive, being a crab in the barrel city, and all of that. And I think the people that don't feel that way, that don't consider themselves one of the crabs, so to speak, took that personal.
Yeah.
And I think that started a new shift to where we're all rallying around each other. And I just haven't seen anything like it. And I wanted to take this kind of time to, give a shout out to the listeners that are making it where, we are what we are within this network. We are who we are in this city. And I keep saying it, but the DMs are wild. I mean, there are, right now I've got scientists, I've got Emmy award winners that are hitting us up. Like, this is, Media Day was huge for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's even things we could do to help them with a little bit to make it even more beneficial for next year. But it was huge for us.
The energy, the vibes in the city, there's something in the air right now, and I can feel it. I feel it in my soul. It's amazing. It's a great time to be in Nashville. We do this, and we end every episode by saying this is Music City Mindset, and you say, for the love of Nashville. And I can honestly say, I love every piece of this city. I love it in my bones. It's in my soul, multi-generational. This city is in my blood, and I want to see it thrive.
Mm-hmm.
People get mad at it change. Everything changes. We've changed. Y'all have changed. Everybody changes. And that's why we did this podcast. But to see it really change for the better. And we're still coming with our North Nashville initiative.
Yeah.
That'll be coming this summer.
Yep.
Excited about that. But, I mean, spending the day at Slim and Husky's, 8 Ball brand coffee, spending a whole weekend on Buchanan, it's home.
Mm-hmm.
It feels right. You can catch us any given night on the Locker Room. Ask Buck.
For the love of Nashville, it is a catchy little closeout saying, but you're right. I do mean it.
Mm-hmm.
We've been here this whole time, and we hear people kind of hate on it that, it's lost its soul. It's just changing. It's just bachelorettes. It's just this. And I'm not saying any of those are necessarily wrong, but for all the hate that's there, as quoted by the generational poet, Benito Bad Bunny, the only thing stronger than hate is love.
Those nights we'd get off at 4 or 5 in the morning, and we'd walk to the parking garage from Tootsie's, smell like stank and alcohol.
Regret.
Yeah, regret. Smell like other people's bad decisions. Every night when we left, you remember, we'd get in the car, we'd pull out, and I'd say goodnight to the city. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, I say good morning to the city a lot of mornings.
I was driving into the gym at 6 a.m. this morning. I just look over at that Batman building.
Hey, to me, when I'm rolling in and the sun's rising, to me, that's as beautiful as the beach or anything else. When I see my city in a sunrise or a sunset or from Love's Circle, it's still as beautiful as it's ever been.
I need to find that picture of me at the grand opening of the Batman building.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the thing. My mama worked at General Hospital. Bless her heart. Too much. Sometimes I'd have to get dropped off there. And when we'd ride down Riverfront, I remember sticking my head out the window of the car and looking up and watching them hanging off that steel building the Batman building, and how monumental that was. Batman was popping at the time, too. Michael Keaton had just done his thing. I know that dates us, but even the pedestrian bridge. My early memories of that car parked in what we thought was traffic on the pedestrian bridge, and that bridge would move up and down like it was floating. And, I mean, that's what I mean by my soul's in this city. I lost my grandparents that had a big part in raising me and everybody, and, like, the times we spent downtown in the city when it was boarded up, when it was nothing, to see it thriving, it's in my blood. It's in my soul, and it will forever be.
The good parts and the bad parts. I mean, we're so connected with Broadway. A lot of people don't realize the old convention center that was where 5th and Broadway is now. They built it where the front door was facing the other way because everybody was ashamed of Broadway.
Oh, yeah.
And now everything, like, centered around Broadway.
I remember whipping the Delta through there, me and you whipping the Delta up in the old convention center.
Wasn't nothing down there. Now there's something here for everybody. And there's just, the boom of Nashville kind of died off housing market,
Mm-hmm.
all of that. But as far as music, hip hop, culture as a whole, I think we're on the verge of something that's very, very special. And we have somehow centered ourselves right in the middle of it, as we always do.
Which I think is another one of them divine things. I don't even think it was us. I think it's just meant to be. You know, it's hard to ride through your old neighborhood and they built tall skinnies and it looks different. But I thought the other day I was looking at that front yard and that street, thinking about all the neighborhood games and all the street lights and hide and go seek and, you know, slipping slides and riding bikes. And I thought, even though it's changed, even though it looks ritzy, there's still a kid that's somebody that's hearing hip hop for the first time, just like I did, right there. You know what I mean? 30-some years later.
Well, I mean, that's the crazy thing about Nashville is people move here because of what's here. And then, you know, I had a message from somebody I hadn't even told you. Someone we used to go to church with is like talking about how good we were doing on the podcast and like using us as an example of like, you can just keep going with life and do what you want to do and make the most out of life and like do what makes you happy and like achieve what you want to achieve. And I think that, you know, I mean, I appreciate the credit to us. It's not like we don't work hard to make that happen, but I don't think we could do what we're doing in any other city.
No, I never thought this would be happening back when the judge made you plan your own funeral.
Yeah, we talked about that the other day too at the gym. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of times I didn't think it was possible. And the city is coming together to make opportunities for each other. And we're just being able to benefit from the opportunities we're creating for ourselves, but the opportunities for us that are being created by other people, by the listeners, by Terry, by NFM Network, by Buck, by Lana, like by Ricky. You know, there's things that are happening because everyone is there. And Terry with NFM was the first one to really get me to like buy in fully to the collaboration over competition mindset. And it sounded really cheesy at first. And I feel like it made sense for him, but it might not make sense for me. And the more that I like watched it and the more I bought into it, more opportunities have happened. And I'm all in. You want to call it drinking the Kool-Aid? I'll chug it. Yeah. Do a double shot. But more opportunities have created, and that's why I just keep encouraging people like, you know, us, you know, the way we work and partner with people, doing it in a way that opens up something for us later on in the future, and just encouraging everyone to look more into who you can collaborate with, not who you're competing with.
Absolutely.
And I think everybody in the city would be better. I'd rather have a smaller percentage of a bigger pie. And like Young Buck said, let's all eat together because ain't no fun being at the table by yourself.
The dream is I want to see everybody win.
Yeah.
That line that was on stage the other night playing local music, legendary.
There's a desire for people to chase their dreams, to make their dreams come true, and to do it here in Nashville, and to be able to have seemingly a front seat to all of it is an absolutely incredible place for us to be.
Yeah, a blessing.
Yep.
Shout out Dion Gibbons, man. Training corner.
Yep.
He
Shout
helped
out
build
Dion.
this.
One of the hardest workers I know.
He is still part of this podcast. He is just out there grinding, and we're so proud of what he's doing.
I mean, especially now you got the NFL Combine coming up, and like the people that tag him in things when they're getting awards for stuff, like his impact on this city, even if he's not on these microphones as often as he used to be, is absolutely insane. And surrounding yourself with people that make impact brings something out of you. And I think that just fits in with the collaboration over competition. But yeah, we got a lot more events coming up. We got a lot of incredible experiences, guests coming up. I'm just so excited where we're taking this podcast and what we're bringing to our listeners.
If you get a chance, go out and check out Click Tight Circle, A West, Big Corey. That's on Me just dropped. Video just dropped.
Everybody's dropping stuff right now.
Everybody's dropping stuff, but Struggle Jennings album release March 13th. Last name legendary.
Absolutely.
Hey, every follower, we appreciate y'all. We've gained 100 followers in the last 2 weeks. We appreciate every single one of y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Hit us in our DMs. If there's anything we can do, we got you. We appreciate it. NFM Network, it's easy and speedy, baby.
Yep.
Hit that like, share, and subscribe.
For the love of Nashville, tune in to what we've got cooking up. Tune in to the next episode.
Yep.